Okay. Are you precariously balanced? Cool. Let's record this video. This is an update from my long ago Project Empties project. I have been steadily working on the things that I said I was working on. I actually stayed very faithful, and I was having some trouble justifying some of my purchases, and rightfully so. They were not justifiable. So I really recommitted to sticking to it. We had some mental health crises in our family that occupied much of our summer, and it was just a whole thing. I actually went off the deep end in buying plants, so that's a thing. But I have since gotten back on the track of being healthy inside and out, working on being healthy inside and out, and making better spending choices in all aspects, not just cosmetics and beauty. My glasses are very dirty, but in plants and all things. But it was a rough year, and I'm glad it's over. But let me update you on the very, very nice progress I've made. Last we spoke, I finished my Stridex salicylic acid pads, and I mentioned that I was maybe going to consider not reintroducing a salicylic acid, and I stuck with that. In the future, I may consider the Silk Naturals salicylic acid, but not at this time. I had also finished up my CosRx cream and was moving on to my CeraVe cream, and so I'm just steadily working through this. This takes forever since I only use like a half a pump at night to moisturize my face. I like it, although it does start to sting a little bit, and I think that's because of the Retin-A that I'm on, which I'll talk about in a little bit. I had also purchased this Stratia Liquid Gold. I'm most of the way through it. I love it. I love that it has ceramides, although when this is done, I might try something else, and I'll keep you updated on what that is. But I want a face lotion that has ceramides in it. Next in the lineup, I actually do have one ready to go. So it's this. This is the CeraVe Skin Renewing Day Cream with some retinol and sunscreen. This might not be a good fit for me since I'm on Retin-A, so if that's true, then I might gift this to someone and move on to something else that doesn't have any actives in my day cream. For hair products, I finished up my Shea Moisture Curl Producing Smoothie something, and I also finished up the Garnier Pure and Clean Gel, which helped me discover that I actually liked using gel in my hair, and I've been letting it get a little longer. So I've also liked wearing it curly, which meant that I could dig back into this Eco Styler gel that I had from a long time ago when I used to wear my hair long and curly. So this is a curly girl approved product, and I'm glad to be using it now. I actually use it whether my hair is curly or straight, which is nice. I had also mentioned a long time ago that I would start using this. Since I was wearing my hair curly a lot, I never used heat, so I did not need a heat protectant. This is the Garnier Flat Iron Protector, but I do use it now when I blow dry my hair, so that's nice. I finished my L'Oreal Lash Paradise Mystic Black, and I dumped it or trashed it, and now I've opened up my L'Oreal Lash Paradise Blackest Black. And then when this is done, I will no longer have any mascaras in my hoard, so I can just shop as needed. I don't throw out mascaras when they're 3 months old. I throw them out when I feel their performance is getting poor, and that's when it's over with me. Or of course, if I get some type of eye irritation or infection, which also hasn't happened. Next, I had just started my first bottle of this Gold Bond lotion, and I discovered that as this gets down and close to empty, it's such a thick lotion that the pump can no longer suck up the lotion, and so you end up with like a ton of product in the bottom that's inaccessible unless you like tip it over, and it's a pain. It's such a thick lotion. So, and I had 3 bottles of this. So I finished bottle number 1, bottle number 2, and this is bottle number 3. And when this is done, I will not repurchase it for 2 reasons. 1, I hate the packaging. This should only be in a tube as far as I'm concerned, or a tub, but I prefer a tube. And 2, I don't like that it's scented. So I will move on to an unscented body lotion in the future. Hopefully one that does have ceramides, which this one does have. And, you know, the nice ingredients like the lactic acid or the urea. So maybe a eucerin or something like that. We'll see. I haven't decided. I finished my fragrance. It was Alien by Terry Mugler. And it was just a decant of it, but it was a pretty big decant. So I finished that, and I started using Bond Eau de New York, but my husband hated it. And I like to hang out with my husband. So instead, I'm now using Stella by Stella McCartney. This is a kind of older fragrance, but it's an eau de parfum formulation, so it's pretty strong. So it will take me a while to get through since it is a stronger formulation of that scent. I finished my Pixie Glow Mud Cleanser, which was great, except for the scent. I liked everything about it, except for the scent. And I moved on to this, which I'm now currently using. This is the Garnier Micellar Foaming Cleanser. I like it. It's very no nonsense. It's gentle. It doesn't sting the eyes, and I believe it's sulfate free. But once I'm done with this, so I had this sort of thing back and forth where I had been using the CeraVe gentle cleanser for a long time, and then I went on to the Hada Labo foam pump cleanser, and then the Pixie one, and then I went back to this one, which was a foaming cleanser. I think my favorite type of cleanser formula is like a milky, creamy formula, so that will be the next type of cleanser I try, but I'm not shopping for one just yet. And I don't have another one in my stash, so when this is done, I will have some freedom to go shopping for one. I finished my Suave Rosemary shampoo. It was a giant bottle of it. And I cheated because I used that as body wash in addition to shampoo. And because I had run out of body wash, and I thought, you know what, I have all this hair care stuff to go through. Soap is soap, so I just used it as body wash, and it was fine. When that was done, I moved on to, I had a half-finished bottle of the L'Oreal Everpure Frizz-Defy. This is the conditioner, but the half-finished bottle I had was shampoo, and it was like half-finished, so I finished it, which was great. And then I moved on now. This is what I have now, and it's the L'Oreal Evercream Cleansing Balm. When this is done, I believe I only have 1 or 2 more shampoo cleansers in my hoard, and that's 1 more L'Oreal Everpure and a Wen cleansing conditioner. So making steady progress through this. This has about this much left, so that's pretty good. And I use kind of a lot of this at a time, so it'll probably go pretty quick. Also, last we spoke, I was finishing up it was a giant size, like Sam's Club size, of the OGX Biotin and Collagen Conditioner. And when that was done, I moved on to this Suave Tropical Coconut, which I love. Very, very lightly scented, rinses so clean, and is great for like co-washing if you do that. Silicone free, curly girl friendly, all that stuff. But I also use this as my shave lotion because I don't prefer to use shaving foams or soaps. I prefer to use a lotion. So conditioner works great as that. And I figure since I have such a huge amount of conditioner in my stash for whatever reason, I will use it as shave cream to help work through it. Next on the docket is this Garnier Fructis Damage Eraser, which is like this much full. I told you guys this story, but this I bought when we were moving from Colorado to Arizona, and all of our stuff was packed up. So I bought this for like the whole family to use. And then we moved because we had a temporary apartment to the house. And so I had this sort of in the boxes somewhere of the moving. So anyway, I intend to finish this next since it is a part full, like it's, partly used anyway. This is not curly girl friendly, as most Garnier stuff has silicones in it, but I don't seem to care. I'm not really doing the curly girl method anyway. So that's it for the hair stuff for now. Let's see. Okay, now on to some cosmetic stuff. I finished my Tarte Rainforest of the Sea foundation in the shade Fair Light Neutral. I had intended to move on to my Estee Lauder Double Wear samples, but my daughter got into them and destroyed everything, so I no longer am using that. And instead, I moved on to using the CoverGirl Vitalist Healthy Elixir, and I'm making some great progress on this. I used it all throughout the summer when my body and skin was a little bit more tan. And now that I'm getting fair again, I'm using it in combination with this Misha Light Beige BB Cream. And they actually work really nicely together. I love it. So that's great. Once that's done, I intend for my next foundation that I use to be a stick foundation, because I've never actually stuck to a stick foundation for like any significant amount of time, and I really want to get one and make it work for me, whatever that takes. I finished my Makeup Revolution concealer, and I had then moved on to this ColourPop concealer, which I didn't purchase. I actually had it in my stash, so I didn't purchase this like for use. It was already hanging out in my collection. And I'm sure I added it to my cart as some sort of ColourPop get to free shipping thing. So this is a pretty fair shade for me. It's Fair 06, but it works really nicely with my L'Oreal Visible Lift Concealer, which according to, this is the same one I've been plugging away at all year, and according to the mass, I've used up 8 grams of it since my initial update. So this claims to have 20 mils in it. I had been using it for some time prior to the starting of 2019, so I'm guessing that I'll come down to the end of it in not too long, and we'll see what I do. I believe I have one more of these and one more of these in the hoard, so I could be ready for, you know, stocked up on concealer for a nice long time now. Let's see. I finished the Degree deodorant I was using, and I had 2 remaining deodorants, and it was 2 of the same Secret deodorants, and so I finished one, and now I'm on the final deodorant, and then I'll have no hoarded deodorants. As I mentioned, started Retin-A, so I'm working through that. And in the process of using Retin-A, I very drastically simplified my routine. I didn't add any like serums and whatever. Let me explain. I always had like the 10-step, like lots and lots of steps, but then I simplified it to, in the morning, splashing with water, vitamin C serum, moisturize, sunscreen. So this was my day moisture, and then this was my sunscreen. Nivea Sun Care Sun Protect Water Gel. And then in the evenings, I get off my makeup, and then I use my vitamin A style active, and then I'll use a hydrating toner and some sort of other essence and a moisturizer. So I cut out the essences and toners and stuff and was just using moisturizer and face wash and the vitamin C in the morning. And then I slowly added these back in just to see how, you know, things were working. They work great. This is a Snail Bee high content skin. This is like inactive. It has like niacinamide and licorice root and snail, and it's just very nice for, you know, repairing the skin. And then this is actually, it was the Gokujun Hada Labo Gokujun High Moist Premium Hyaluronic Acid Lotion, and that I decanted into this container. You can see it's like a thick serum-y type hyaluronic acid product. I love it. It's great. And I will buy another one when this is empty. I actually use, so they come in these refill containers, these like bags like this. So I've been pouring it into this. This is my refill bag of sunscreen, and it's my last one. So I have what's left in this bottle, this, and then I'm done with my hoard of sunscreen, which is great news. Let's see what else. When slowly but surely I will reintroduce some other serums maybe. This is a skin renewing serum with it's a nice amount of ceramides in it from CeraVe. I haven't decided if I'll start using this. But I also have, I could in the morning use this Skin and Lab red serum. It has a bunch of antioxidants, ellagic acid, things like that. Okay. For things that I used in my project pan, I have used, according to weight, about 60 grams of this Big Sexy hairspray. It claims to have 284 grams in it total. Of course, a lot of this is the propellant, so the terms of how much product, you know, you use, it's sort of questionable. But in any case, I have enough left to continue using it, and I used up 60 grams of it, so that's cool. I finished up oil-free eye makeup remover, the Target brand. I guess there is a little bit left that I could use. This is what I was using to clean some of my brushes in the last go round, like the foundation brushes that get super gunked up and stuff, and so I was using it to clean my brushes. But for the most part, I used it to take off, you know, hardware makeup. 2 things that I'm having to declutter. This is a ColourPop Cornelius Super Shock Shadow that dried out. Goodbye. This was a Korean K-Beauty type of cushion eyeliner, but it's totally dried out. I got like 1 use out of it, and it was terrible, and it got dried out. I won't judge it for that. No big deal. It's just probably me not using it fast enough. Some interesting news. So this one, this is the blush, my Joyous Beauty Powder blush. You can see the foundation on it from when my daughter played with it. According to the scale, this increased in mass, and I'm guessing that's this stuff on the outside. I have no pan, but I'm just going to keep using it. I like it. It doesn't bore me to use the same blush forever and ever, and it's a lovely high quality blush, so I'll continue to use it. I used 2 grams of my contour and hit pan. So this is MAC Emote Blush, and I finally hit pan. I'm so proud. Also, according to the scale, for my primers, I used 10 grams of this primer that has 30 mils in it. And I'm guessing that's because several of the times, most of the time, more often than not, I forget to use it. So that's a problem for me, but hopefully I'll just churn through it and move on with my life. For my pore filling primer, I used 2 grams of it. This is by Aritam Pore Master Sebum Control Primer. And that makes sense because you use like a tiny amount per use. This claims to have 25 mils, so okay, I'll get through that. This is the Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I apparently used 2 grams of this throughout the year, so that's good, I guess. I don't know if I really did use 2 grams or if my scale is weird. Either way, I'm glad to see progress. I didn't weigh this, but I finished up with my first container of this and I moved on to my second. This is a hair pomade by Alterna. This is the Caviar Style Concrete. I believe it's discontinued, so I will use it and be done with it. No big deal. I had just gotten a brand new bottle of this micellar water when we last spoke, and I've just been steadily using it. I use very little micellar water. I mostly use it to clean up when I wash my face at night, the makeup that I don't get off of my neck. So I'm glad to have it. It's very gentle. I'm not offended by it. And that's it. I finished the NYX Epic Ink pen eyeliner, and I opened this one. This is one I had in my hoard. This is the L'Oreal Voluminous Superstar. Do not recommend. This sucks. It has a great big fat marker style, and it's very hard to control. And so I just used it to the best of my ability. It's not done yet, but man, I can't wait till it is. When this wasn't satisfying me, I also used this L'Oreal Liner Intense in Black Noir. That's this one here. And the thing I don't like about this one is it does crackle a little bit, and it, like in the creases and the corners of the eyes, and it's very black, but it doesn't dry down perfectly matte. So I'm not a huge fan of that, but okay, I'll get through it. And when everything is said and done, I'm going to go back to my tried and true NYX Epic Ink Liner because it's my favorite liner I've used. I made virtually no progress on my gel liner, by the way. For powder, I began using this to set my under eyes, and according to the scale, I used 4 grams of it, so that's good. I hit a significant amount of pan. This is the Wet n Wild Color Icon Bronzer in the shade Reserve Your Cabana. Fantastic for setting under eyes if you're fair. Again, I hit a significant amount of pan. This claims to have 13 grams, and I used 4 of those grams. Next is the powder I've been using. So I finished my Ulta Double Duty powder and my Physicians Formula Mineral Wear powder. I was debating between using Coty Airspun or this Maybelline Fit Me. I elected to use the Maybelline Fit Me, and so far I've used 8 grams? Where are you? 8 grams of it, yeah. Oh, and by the way, this is the 8 grams of this that I used. I think I mentioned that. Let's see, what's next? For my highlight, I've been using the ColourPop Flexitarian Super Shock Cheek. I've still been working on that. This claims to have 4.2 grams, and I've used 2 of those grams. And it still works just fine. It's still creamy. I still like it. So I'll just keep using it. The thing that's the shocker of them all is this bronzer by Bare Minerals. So this, as you can see from the side, like there is still a ton left. And I've been using this for more than a decade. This claims on the container to have 2.8 grams, which I never noticed until now. And I don't know what Bare Minerals did, but I am sure that this is an error in the packaging, because according to my scale, I have used 2 grams of it this year. 2.5, no. Oh, that's the wrong one. 4 grams of it this year. So I've used 4 grams of it, which is more than this package seems to contain. And I still have this much to go. So I have a feeling that I'll just use this until I die. And that's fine. So cool. As I mentioned, I've been working on this snail bee high content skin. I use several pumps of this now in the morning and at night. This is 150 mils. I used a whole bottle of this, and this is my second bottle. I'm about here, and then I have a third bottle of it, and then I'll move on to some other essence. This, as I mentioned, I refilled my hyaluronic acid, and this is almost empty, and I will repurchase the Hada Labo Gokyujin hyaluronic acid when all is said and done. Anything else? Oh, this. I finished my Urban Decay eyeliner in the shade 0. It just, I used it until I couldn't sharpen it any longer, and now I'm on to this, and this is working just fine. And that's it. Is that it? That's it. So it's pretty good. With the plant purchasing problem aside, I feel that I have remained, now that I'm done with the plant stuff, I've remained focused and serious about remaining more austere in my lifestyle, and in the sense that I'm going to use what I have, and then once I use what I have, I will simplify what I do in the day-to-day, like simplify the types of things that I use, and then I will purchase as needed. Only after, though, I finish the 1,000 liters of conditioner that I have. So with that, I'll leave you, and I'll update you in the future as this continues. Thanks so much. Goodbye.